Welcome back to TriRealHard and episode 3 of my budget TT bike build. If you haven't seen episode 2 already, then go ahead and check it out to see all of the finishing kit parts for this build. You may be surprised to learn that the finishing kit includes a fully carbon cockpit and a nice TT specific saddle. But stay tuned for loads more exciting new parts in tonight's episode, as you will now find out what the drivetrain for this bike is going to look like. So I finished off episode 2 by saying that if my math is right, the total spend so far is £412. So we have £428 left of the £840 budget to buy the remaining parts. But my maths was certainly not right, and I'd missed off the little FSA stereo expander bung and top cap, which was £10. So in reality I only have £418 left to buy the full group set, including brake calipers, the wheel set, the chains, the tyres, the bottom bracket, the inner tube, maybe a bottle cage or whatever extras I can afford, if any, at this stage. So what would the easiest option be to ensure I get a full group set within budget? I'd say a mixture of second-hand 10-speed SRAM and Shimano components which are cross-compatible and older than 11-speed would likely be the cheapest option and probably the simplest to source. But that would be far too easy and not much fun. The Boardman Team TT that I'm trying to beat in terms of value and build quality by matching it for price but using higher end components is spec'd with SRAM's Apex 10-speed group set. So going for 11-speed on the Dolan gives me a massive advantage straight away over the off-the-peg Boardman Team TT bike. Plus, I've never had an 11-speed bike before, so I'm determined to make this the first. Also, I want to really challenge myself to bargain hunt and negotiate hard to get the best deal I can. So I'm going to go for a brand I'm unlikely to be able to get cheaply. Can you guess which group set component brand I'm going to go for yet? No? Okay, I'll give you a couple of clues. The first clue is that this brand have been building high-end components since 1933. So what's that? 67, 77, 87, 88 years. So I think it's fair to say that they've got a long history of building quality parts. The second and final clue, because if this doesn't give it away, then nothing will, is that this bike brand are from Vicenza in Italy. So yes, I think you've all guessed it by now, but I'm going to be attempting to source a full 11-speed Campagnolo group set and a Campag compatible wheel set for under 400 quid. This is a seriously big ask, seeing as though the lowest tier 11-speed Campagnolo group set, which is called Athena, started out costing around £1,000 in 2010, and from what I can find online, still seems to cost around £670 new, if you can find one, that is. Also, Campagnolo's mechanical 11-speed TT specific components are surprisingly rare, and the bar end shifters and brake levers are only available in 2 versions, carbon or alloy, both of which are still available from some online retailers, brand new to be bought, but it's really difficult to find them at a price that isn't outrageous. So without further ado, after scouring eBay, Facebook Marketplace and tons of UK bike shop websites, I've ended up with this assortment of used and new parts. So here we are, and just like that, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Campagnolo branded boxes, some other bits and bobs here, a wheel set, tyres. I'm hoping that all of this stuff combined together will create a really smooth running drivetrain, despite Campagnolo being renowned for creating distinct component versions that can't really be mixed. So knowing that the group set components would account for most of the remaining budget, and being keen to create a complete Campagnolo group set that won't need upgrading for a long time, I set to work trying to find the cheapest near new wheel set that was also Campagnolo compatible. The thinking here is that wheels are often upgraded later, and many people choose to have a more robust and reasonably priced set of training wheels and then invest in a lighter race day wheel set if necessary. So on eBay I came across an auction for these Riparto Corse wheels, which come stock on many Bianchi bikes. The wheel set also included a pretty much brand new 11 speed 12 through 28 tooth Campagnolo cassette. So I kept an eye on the auction, put in a bid at the last minute, and ended up winning the cassette and wheels for an amazing £60, which is less than the cassette alone is worth. Bargain. The seller was great, and when they arrived, despite the wheels being pretty damn heavy, about 2 kilos for the pair, the cassette condition was amazing. The wheels are basically brand new. There's no wear at all on the braking surfaces, so I'm really happy with the condition. To finish off this perfectly adequate set of training wheels, I snapped up some Bontrager R1 basic 700 by 25mm tyres from Facebook Marketplace for a tenner, £10, and I also picked up 2 butyl inner tubes from Decathlon for a £5, and also from Decathlon some skewers, some quick release skewers for another £10. So having secured the 11 speed Campagnolo cassette, and with the wheel set having a Campag freehub body, there was no going back, and I started searching far and wide for full 11 speed Campagnolo group sets. But everything I found was way over budget until I came across a Campagnolo Athena partial group set for sale in Manchester for £30. Now this was an astonishing price because it included the front and rear skeletonized brake calipers, Campagnolo Athena front derailleur, and the Campagnolo Athena rear derailleur, which can be one of the most expensive parts of the group set to find. And all of these parts appeared to be in really decent condition. I knew I'd be visiting Manchester for work the following week, so I decided to contact the seller, and he agreed to wait until then for me to collect them. After returning home, I realised that the Campagnolo Athena front derailleur that was included in this partial group set had a 32mm band clamp. Now the Dolan area frame that I'm using for this build has a 35mm seat tube diameter, so that wasn't going to work. So I listed the front derailleur for sale on eBay, and to my surprise I ended up selling it for £30 plus postage, which meant that the rear derailleur and brake calipers had cost me nothing. However, the brake calipers, when I got them, had no shoes or pads, so I decided to spend another £35, including postage, on some Swiss Stop Flash Pro pads and some BBB Road Stop holders or shoes. I also needed to get 2 recessed brake caliper nuts for another £5. So at this point I have got wheels, tyres, a cassette, a rear derailleur and brakes for £125, which means I've only got £293 left in the budget. So after selling the Campagnolo Athena front derailleur with the 32mm band clamp, I searched and searched high and low for a replacement Campagnolo front derailleur with a 35mm band, and I also looked at buying a braze-on 11-speed front derailleur, so a braze-on version that you then have to buy a separate 35mm clamp for. But at the time I was looking, there just wasn't anything available in 11-speed that was in decent condition, and that can happen when you're looking for parts for a build like this and you're buying each individual component as you go along. You do need more time, or just it can be difficult to pick up exactly what you want at the price you want without, you know, playing the waiting game. In the end, I got fed up of searching the web and really tempted by a Campagnolo Record front derailleur in really good nick for £50, including postage. So there it is with its 35mm band clamp on it, and yeah, Campagnolo Record, a nice carbon front to it. This £50 was a big chunk of the remaining budget, but it has to be said that the front derailleur is probably the group set component that you can buy most cheaply in a higher tier version to give the overall system a little lift and a little upgrade. So I'm definitely chuffed to have a piece of campy record for this build. Next, with this being a TT bike build, requiring mainly high gearing for fast, flat racing and training, I opted for a standard chain set with a 53 tooth outer cog and a 32 tooth inner. Wanting to avoid using second-hand chain rings, this was the cheapest option I found for a Campagnolo 11-speed standard chain set. This is the Campagnolo Athena alloy version with a crank length of 172.5mm, which I found on eBay for £55. I needed the Campagnolo Power Torque bottom bracket cups for this crank set, which I also found on eBay for £22. There they are. After almost buying these Campagnolo 11-speed carbon bar end shifters for £99.99 from sjscycles.co.uk on several occasions, I was very tempted. I actually waited long enough for a new set of these to come up for sale on eBay for £55. I actually made the seller an offer of £50, which he accepted. As the RRP on these is £289.99, it was a good deal even at £99.99, which SJS Cycles at the time of making this video are still selling them out. But £50 for these is epic. I have to say that they really are just beautiful, and with the Campagnolo quality and this little box that they come in, it's almost like you're opening a piece of exquisite jewellery rather than a bike component. I did, however, find that an online bike shop was offering the best price on the bar end Campagnolo TT brake levers, which are just over here in this box. It was the cycleclinic.co.uk that had these in their cheaper alloy version available for £65, including postage. they look very nice, and probably being alloy on one of those areas that can end up getting a bit scratched it's not a bad thing. Being brand new, they did come with the full brake cable set of inner and outer cable, so we've got the housing in there and everything that we need to cable up these brake levers. But Campagnolo mechanical gearing does require slightly different shift cables with a smaller diameter than Shimano or SRAM, and the barrel at the end of the cable that fits inside the shifter is also a little bit smaller. So in order to get Campagnolo compatible shift cables, I picked up this set of KBLE Campagnolo compatible Ergo Power shift cables with the external housing from Wiggle for £15. I tend to use KMC chains on all my bikes. Unfortunately, their KMC X11 or ×11 11-speed chain, which I found on eBay for £16, is Campagnolo compatible. After all that, can you believe it? I've done it by being patient and waiting for the best deal to come along and negotiating wherever possible. I've somehow managed to buy a mostly new full Campagnolo 11-speed group set with Campagnolo compatible wheels for £398, and I even have a few quid left over for any unforeseen costs that may crop up during the build. I'd call that a roaring success, and now I just can't wait to get all of these Campagnolo parts installed on the frame. It's gonna look sick and hopefully run as smooth as butter. So make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell to ensure you don't miss out on the actual build process. If you've lasted to the end of this episode, then many thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.